My dinner date trashed his ex-girlfriend all night. She's my sister. She's destroying my son's life, Nathan said, sliding his phone across the cafe table to show me another photo. Look at this beautiful boy, 4 years old, and I haven't seen him in 8 months because his mother is pure evil. The picture showed a smiling child with dark curls and bright green eyes holding a toy dinosaur. Something about those eyes seemed familiar, but I couldn't place it. Nathan's voice cracked with emotion as he continued. She's turned him against me completely. Won't even let me call on his birthday. I'd matched with Nathan on a dating app 3 weeks ago, and this was our first in-person meeting. He was handsome in that polished way that suggested money and good breeding, with perfectly styled brown hair and an expensive watch that caught the light when he gestured. But 15 minutes into our coffee date, all he wanted to discuss was his custody battle with his ex-girlfriend. I stirred my latte and tried to look sympathetic while he painted himself as the victim of a vindictive woman. The family court system is completely biased against fathers, Nathan continued, his blue eyes filling with tears that seemed genuine. She makes up lies about me, says I'm dangerous. When all I want is to be part of my son's life, I've spent $40,000 on lawyers, and for what? To be treated like a criminal for loving my own child. He showed me another photo, this one of him holding the same little boy at what looked like a park. Both were laughing, and Nathan looked like a devoted father. Something nagged at me about the child's face, but I pushed the feeling aside and focused on being a good listener. Nathan was clearly in pain, and I knew how brutal custody disputes could become. My own sister had gone through a difficult breakup with her son's father 2 years ago, though she rarely talked about the details. I assumed it had been relatively amicable since I'd never heard about any ongoing drama or court battles. What's your son's name? I asked, taking another sip of my drink. Nathan's face lit up at the question, transforming from grief to pure love in an instant. Oliver James. He's the light of my life, the reason I get up every morning. Before he was born, I was just drifting through life, but becoming a father gave me purpose. That's why losing him hurts so much. He swiped to a video on his phone, showing Oliver building blocks while giggling. The sound of the child's laugh sent a chill through my chest. I knew that giggle. I'd heard it countless times at family gatherings, birthday parties, and quiet Sunday afternoons. This wasn't just any 4-year-old boy. This was my nephew, my sister Rebecca's son. But that was impossible because my sister's ex-boyfriend was named David, not Nathan, and she'd never mentioned anything about a custody battle or even ongoing contact with Oliver's father. I'm sorry, I said carefully, trying to keep my voice steady. What did you say your ex-girlfriend's name was? Nathan's expression darkened immediately, his jaw clenching with obvious anger. Rebecca fucking Martinez. Sorry for the language, but that woman makes me see red. She's a manipulative narcissist who gets off on controlling people. The worst part is how she acts like this perfect mother when she's actually damaging Oliver psychologically. My hands started trembling, and I set down my mug before I dropped it. This man sitting across from me, telling me his sob story about being kept from his child, was talking about my sister, who was one of the most gentle, loving people I knew. My sister, who would never keep a child from their father without good reason. Something was very wrong with Nathan's version of events, but I needed to be careful not to reveal my connection to Rebecca yet. That must be incredibly difficult, I said, choosing my words carefully. How long were you and Rebecca together? Nathan ran his hand through his hair and sighed dramatically. 3 years total, but the last year was hell. She became increasingly controlling and paranoid, accusing me of things I never did. I think she has some kind of personality disorder. Honestly, the way she can lie with such conviction, it's scary. I thought about my sister, who worked as a pediatric nurse and spent her free time volunteering at animal shelters. The Rebecca I knew was incapable of the manipulation Nathan was describing. Either he was lying about who his ex-girlfriend was, or there were major details he wasn't sharing. I decided to probe deeper while still pretending to be a sympathetic stranger. What kind of lies did she tell about you? I asked, leaning forward as if I were fascinated by his story. Nathan's eyes flashed with anger, and for a split second, I saw something cold and calculating behind his emotional facade. She claimed I was violent, which is completely false. I've never laid a hand on her or Oliver. She said I had anger management problems, that I drank too much, that I was manipulative. All projection, obviously. She was describing herself. Full story on my channel and linked below.